cooling system last night, and yeah, Sparks, I'm talking to somebody else. Would you excuse me for a minute? Getting ready to install a temp gauge. I'm gonna fire it up. I gotta put some fans on the radiator, but I got those here. Chevaholic gave me the name of a company that makes some good ones. He said, don't mess with those cheap ones that you get at the local, local Yokohama parts store, the O'Reilly's and the AutoZones. So I'm gonna order a nice fan or a pair of nice fans. Hear that thunder? I am delinquent, and I apologize to this gentleman. Mr. Lawrence from Reno, Nevada. I picked up my mail one day. I was driving the old 73 Chevy, and I left the mail later in the seat. And this was postmarked on July the 5th, and I parked the old Chevy, forgot all about the mail until I went and drove it again a couple of days ago. I found this, so I apologize to you that it's taken me so long to get to this. But here's a sticker, and oh, this comes from 1989 F-152 door, and on YouTube, and that's a nice little sticker. I'll put that on my lift, and I will cherish it along with the rest of them. Dear Ken, in Rust we trust. Wait on wire. Thank you, sir. And I have another one that came today, and it's addressed to Ken and Sparks. And Sparks, he's around here somewhere. And this comes from Illinois. Another YouTuber, and it says Screaming Chicken Rat Rods on it. So I'll get this one opened up here. We'll see what we have. It's pretty thick. Might have a letter in it. Yeah, it does have a letter in it. But maybe the Screaming Chicken Rat Rods. I like that. That's pretty cool. So let me get all the others here. Here's the two. There you go. There's the two. There's the other one. Screaming Chicken and the 1989 F-150. Alright, those will go on my list. Well, I've been out looking at grafting jobs all day. I looked at 5 jobs today. I was up in Okanagan yesterday. Looked at 3 jobs up there. Victor and I got a little work coming up in August, so I'm kind of having to work a little bit more and play a little bit less here, but that's okay. So the maiden voyage, how did it go? Well, I just had to fire this thing up on the full moon, you know. I just thought that was appropriate, so I was able to back it out of the shop under its own power. And you know, I had a few gremlins, not bad. When I filled my water system, it didn't have any leaks, but then after I started it up, it built up a little pressure. The lower radiator hose coming off of the water pump decided to relieve itself. And I'm not sure what's going on there. It seems to fit pretty snug, but I can't get it to stop leaking. I've got 2 clamps on it, so I'm going to tear that apart here after a while and investigate that and see if I got a bad hose or it may have a pinhole or something. I don't know. It's new, but you know, it is what it is. There's a leak, so I'm going to get it fixed. But I had picked it up, had it running and picked it up, but I didn't have any leaks, and then that radiator hose finally started leaking. But the first time I fired it, I lost some tranny fluid. I was putting tranny fluid in it, and it was running out as fast as I was putting it in, I think. I just used the old tranny lines off of one of these old donor trucks, and they're all bent and twisted and everything, and I'm going to run some nice line or maybe just use hose, but I was told Jeff Bradshaw, I'm like a little kid, I just couldn't wait, you know, so I just slapped those lines on there. Well, as it happened, one of them had a little hole in it, and it shot tranny fluid everywhere. It coated everything under there with tranny fluid. So I cut that bad section out and ran a hose back there, and I was so tired. I think it was 3 o'clock this morning when I got that video posted, and I was so tired by then trying to edit, and I just wasn't thinking right. I mean, I don't think right anyway, but I was thinking less right than I usually do. And I left out a couple of shots. There was one shot where I was wiring 2 wires together Brown style, you know, to get these fans going, these dual fans on the radiator. But It ran cool. I think the fans are going to do a fine job. Plus, I figured out at one time, I can't remember the exact number now, but that 1.5 inch pipe running from front to rear, 8-9 feet times 2, I figured out the volume at, and I think it's over 2 gallons, almost 3 gallons, that it adds to my system. So that should help as far as cooling goes. But anyway, had a little pinhole in the training line, so had to fix that, and I had that leaky hose. Other than that, you know, oh, there was another shot that I forgot to put in where I was clamping the vice grips on the transmission. So I'd have a shifter, and it shifts backwards, but that's all right too. Anyway, just had to pull it out and drive it, pull it out and have it stop and go under its own power, and I had to do that on full moon. So it was so late by the time I got out there, the moon was way high in the sky, but it looked pretty cool. The camera didn't do it justice. It looked pretty good sitting out there under a full moon. And like I said, I was kind of like a big kid, you know. I just had permagrin, you know, when this thing was fired up and backed out of here. So the next big hurdle, the major, I mean, 2 major hurdles are down, you know. I mean, the steering, getting that done. Hello, Sparky. It's nice to see you too. Getting the steering done, that was a biggie, and getting the brakes plumbed, that was a biggie. Now the next big hurdle is going to be exhaust, and it's going to be a challenge the way that I want to do it. But I've got something in my mind, and when I get it in my head, you know, there ain't no stopping me. So anyway, I think that's the next big deal, is the exhaust. And yeah, I got to cut this trunk lid. I got a lot of little things, and one YouTuber nailed it on the head. He said, now the hard part's going to be doing all the little stuff and not in a hurry, because you want to drive it. And he's exactly right, you know. But I got a long ways to go with mounting my air gauges and then running all these switches. And I promise I won't use all red wire when I run those switches up to the cab. And then I got to plumb in the gauges, but I checked the way my airlines run. The exhaust is not getting them hot. They're good. It's nice to be able to start it up, pick it up, and get over there and see what's going on, you know. So, yeah, I think it's good. It's sure is a lot of fun. Y'all should build a rat rod, I'm telling you.